Hello, you're live on JoyNews Today from your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. JoyNews is live on GoTV channel 421 and DSTV channel 125 around the globe at myjoyonline.com and on your digital TV sets because we are free to air. My name is Mamisi Nyamiche Thompson. Coming up, some senior police officers petition ad hoc committee probing alleged plot to remove the IGP from office. We'll hear from the committee's chair who made the revelation and take the thoughts of a statesman who appreciates development at the committee so far. Suspected fake doctor arrested at Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. We have details. In our series of Hope today, we tell you about Kofi AJ, coconut seller who believes self-help is the best option in securing a lifetime livelihood as he boasts of his accomplishment from his unassuming trade despite being a school dropout. We have details plus business, sports news, and world news all in this hour. Stay with us. Some senior police officers have petitioned the 7-member ad hoc committee probing the alleged plot to remove the IGP. Chairman Samuel Atachia made the revelation saying the committee will be taking a look at the petition to take action. We'll be bringing you that in a bit, but first here's a wrap from yesterday's sit-in by Samuel Imbura.
The latest to stroke more fire is the third police officer, Superintendent George Asare, who is corroborating claims that the IGP engineered their conversation with star witness Bugri Nabu to be recorded. George Asare, in spite of his request to give his testimony in camera, alleged Daniel Bugri Nabu was used as a conduit by the IGP to trap them. He's, however, denied portions of the tape he claims they are doctored.
But later, upon further inquiries, remember I'm a policeman. For investigations, I'm very smart. But that side, when we meet in camera, you will know who did the recording, who was sent by who, and on what promise to who. You will get it when we meet in camera.
He further alleges a contract was awarded to Daniel Bugri Nabu by the IGP to procure over 40,000 boots for the Ghana Police Service as a reward.
And he has lied on several occasions. I have Alhaji Bugri Nabu on tape. Everything he came to say here, on video, in his office, the same office. His relationship with IGP and contracts, 40,000 books contracts.
Mr. Asare also revealed that Daniel Bugri Nabu suggested spiritual fortification for them to secure the position of the IGP.
Honorable Chair, like I said, that spiritual matter, it was in two ways, either Christianity or other faiths. But he insisted, please, Honorable Chair, he insisted that he has some malams, as I use those words interchangeably, or imams. Yes.
But Alfred Dakwa, who is lawyer for Superintendent George Asare, says he is satisfied with the probe so far because it has given his client an opportunity to clear his name in the public.
Had already been crucified. And at least today he's been able to at least say his side of the story. And I think that's the most important thing now.
Will you be surprised if the committee doesn't invite the IGP? His name keeps coming up. Will you be surprised as a lawyer if the committee doesn't invite the IGP?
I think it wouldn't even be fair to the IGP if he's not invited, because allegations have been made against him. And it's important that, principles of natural justice, he also gets the opportunity to also say his side.
Do you think your client has a case or somebody has a case?
He doesn't need to have a case. He was invited as a witness, so he came to say his side of the story. It's not really about the Republic against him or he against somebody. His name came up, and I think he came to explain how all these things happen.
Meanwhile, there is an emergence of a new tape the ad hoc committee is considering to scrutinize. Chairman of the committee, Samuel Atachia, said they will consider even an in-camera hearing and invite all persons of interest in the probe.
That the first audio is not authentic in terms of some aspects, but they admitted that some of them were authentic. Now, we've had the benefit of a tape on the assumption that it's authentic. The members of the committee will have to internalize that tape, and it is also transcribed and look at it. And that will give us the ideas as to what to do. First of all, do we bring all the stakeholders together with their lawyers for cross-examination and cross-firing to take place, whilst we listen attentively, and later when they finish, then we will have our turn. And then, are there matters which should not come into the public domain because of national security implications? So we'll do long in-house or in-camera hearing.
For now, all four witnesses, including Daniel Bugri Nabu, COP Alex Mensah, Superintendent Emmanuel Jebi, and Superintendent George Asari, have since been released. The Parliament Ad Hoc Committee will continue in an in-camera hearing of this probe. From Parliament House, Samuel Mbura, Joy News.
Well, Committee Chair Samuel Atachia says some police officers have petitioned the committee.
Whilst we were sitting, the petitions were brought to us, so we've not even read them. We've not perused the petitions. But trust us as a committee that there's nothing of consequence that will brush it aside. It's going to be a very comprehensive interrogation. So if people want to aid us to do our fact-finding, we will not block them. We've also just seen that some police officers have even taken the IGP to court in relation to their promotion. So I've instructed that they should first the writ, so that we know the content of what is pending in court and the rest of it.
Commenting on developments so far, former chairman of Parliament's Legal and Constitutional Committee, Incessant Hussaini, says the probe must not be turned into a trial of the IGP, Dr. George Dampari. The chairman of the committee, Samuel Atachia, had already hinted the IGP may be invited to appear before the committee after some senior police officers at the center of the controversy alleged he may have orchestrated the recording and leaked the tape. But speaking to me earlier, the former NDC MP for Tamale Central, Incessant Hussaini, cautioned the committee not to lose focus and turn this into a public trial of the IGP.
There's a conscious, deliberate effort to shift the terms of reference in this matter to the trial of the IGP. It's very conscious and deliberate. It's a red herring that is being pushed. We might lose focus. I mean, in any undertaking, you must define the remit and parameters of your operations to be able to come out with something concrete. The fear is that it diverts attention from the criminal activities of those who met to the man himself. We might end up turning the man into a villain. We might end up.
Why would that be so? I mean, because
a lot of things have been said about him, which obviously ought not to have been said about him. I mean, a police officer comes on set to say publicly to Ghanaians and the world at large that this is the worst IGP we've had in history, and in recent history in the Fourth Republic. Then you wonder, what metrics did he use? What management metrics did he use to come to that conclusion? How many people did he speak to? Is it a pervasive view in the police service? Or is the personal idiosyncratic view of the dissatisfied few within the police service? But we allow that to pass.
Well, Mr. Fuseni, however, argues that the police council, if it is interested, can look into the allegations made against the IGP. He also insists the probe has nothing to do with the national security, objecting to the committee's decision to hear some of the matters in camera.
I disagree with there's no national security implications involved in this. It's just like people conspiring to overthrow the state. Then you are trying them for the intention to commit an act of treason or subversion, and they say, well, there are some matters involved that we can reveal to the state. We can't say that openly, publicly.
Indeed.
I mean, I think that it is greatly out of difference to the persons involved, most of them being 7 police officers, that the committee agreed to listen to them in camera. There is nothing, secretive about what they did. There's no state secret involved in this. We're not producing any nuclear weapon, are we? The public safety in this case will be probably protecting those who have appeared before the committee. There's no any threat to public safety by listening to what they have said.
So according to you, we should have all hearings in public?
All the hearings should have been, they should have demanded and encouraged them to speak publicly. For transparency is very important in a democracy.
Right.
All of us must get carried along. The gravity of what they have done, the seriousness of the problems in the police service must be understood and appreciated by all.
A 26-year-old man has been arrested for posing as a medical practitioner at the Kofi Teaching Hospital in Kumasi. William Cyril Cohen, who was seen lurking around the hospital, is alleged to have admitted patients and administered drugs. Now, my colleague Nana Boachi Yadon joins me via Zoom for more on this. Nana Boachi, how did they notice the suspect is not a medical doctor? So Nana Boachi, I was asking, how did they notice, or the hospital authorities notice, that the suspect is not a medical doctor?
So, Mamiesi, the suspect was approached by a senior medical officer at the Kofi Teaching Hospital, where upon further interrogations with the suspected doctor, the senior medical officer realized that he's not one of them. The Kofi Hospital has a system that is in charge of OPD and other health-related services. So if you are not really a member of their team, they will easily recognize you. So that is how come that this senior officer and reduced with the team doctor realized that he's not part of their team. So that's how come the situation came up.
Has it been established how long he had been operating there for?
For what we know, the hospital says that he has not been there for quite some time. They realized he's been there for a short period of time, not for a very long time. So they've not really determined, they are yet to determine whether he's been there for a very long time. But as it stands, per their own reports and per the conversations that we've had with them, they said that he has not really been there for some time. But upon further investigations, they will come out to determine the exact period.
Right, grateful for your time here. But before you go, apart from investigations, has there been any measures taken by the hospital with regards to the situation?
So as it stands, the Kofi Teaching Hospital says that they are going to do a random check on their staffs going forward to ensure that incidents like this do not. But they have brought out a statement to deny the fact that the alleged suspect was attending to a patient.
Right. Nana Boachi Yadon, grateful for your time. Now, we've been trying to reach hospital authorities on this situation, but as and when we get them, we'll be asking them more questions. Leadership of the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana is blaming the incessant dismissal of students over poor performance to the continued strikes by their teachers. Although the strike by CETAC has been called off, the association is worried an inconclusive resolution to the impending issues could hamper academic activities in the future. And what's in the situation? President of the association, Nana Kwame Jefta, says the recent industrial action saw many students idling on campus. There's more in this report.
Now, teachers at the colleges of education have abandoned lecture halls to push the government to redeem its promise on implementing its negotiated conditions of service. The indefinite strike is bringing academic activities on college campuses to their knees as many students idle. The cumulative effects of the endless strike by the teacher union are forcing shifts in academic timelines, impeding continuity of learning. At its 27th annual general meeting, the president of the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana, Nana Kwame Jefta, noted the strike could culminate in the dismissal of non-performing students as recorded in previous years.
Students that came to College of Education in the year 2018, in the subsequent academic year, most of them were dismissed because of failure. And it's on record that one, they gained admission. That time, CTAC was also on strike. It took CTAC for about 4 or 5 weeks before they could report back to campus. And for all those weeks, students didn't do anything. They were just on campus. They didn't have the chance to meet their tutors to learn. And that had impact on most of them, leading to the failure in the examination that they wrote. And we couldn't spare them. They were dismissed because of poor performance, which we could not only based on the fact that they are just not performing, but we have real factors that might have contributed to that. And we are seeing the same thing in this current dispensation, because currently we are entering the 6th week that CTAC has been on strike. They've been out of lecture halls, they've been out of campus, nothing at all is going on.
Their concerns are compounded by the upgrade of the pass mark for the upcoming licensure examinations from 50% to 70%. The association maintains that a balanced minimum pass rate would provide fair opportunity for all students, while the demand for preparatory logistics.
We don't mean to say that 70% is too high for us to pass, because we've been writing exams in our College of Education and we've been passing. We've written about 50 to 60 different coursework papers that we've passed. So why can't we sit and pass for license exams? We believe that how the structure and the organization for academic content in the courses that we study in the College of Education that lead us to come and write examination and we pass. It's not as we see in the NTC. We don't have course outline for NTC examination that we are going to write. We don't have textbooks that we read from. And these are all logistics that need to be in place before we could probably raise the bar to the 70% we are talking about.
Meanwhile, Registrar of the Ghana National Teaching Council, Christian Adepoku, says a crunch meeting with stakeholders is in the offing to address the concerns.
The National Teaching Council's board has held on to its position that the upcoming licensure examination should be marked at 70% pass. And the leadership of TAG has insisted on 50% pass. And lo and behold, I've received a letter from the president, a copy to me, but a letter to the Minister for Education asking for an intervention in the matter. As I speak, last week, I had a meeting with the minister and he has indicated that he will want to meet the leadership of TAG.
The annual General Assembly was held under the theme, Shaping the Future of Teacher Training and Education, Prioritizing Infrastructural Development. For JoyNews, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
Demands to remove decommissioned toll booths from the country's highways are escalating, triggered by the tragic death of one individual on the scene while 4 others fight for their lives at Tema General Hospital. These individuals sustained injuries in 2 separate accidents that occurred at the Accra toll plaza on the motorway this past Sunday. In the following report, eyewitnesses recount a minute-by-minute chronicle of the harrowing incidents.
This is the state of the toll booth on the Accra-Tema stretch of the motorway after a fuel tanker plunged into it at around 5 o'clock a.m. Sunday. The driver's mate died on the spot and the driver critically injured. The next day, Monday, 3 persons on board this truck also suffered life-threatening injuries when their truck crashed into this pillar. Some eyewitnesses recount the incident.
Yesterday, like 5 o'clock a.m., we dey inside where we hear them, where we come out. Where we come out now, we see some, this one is trailer. tanker. The tanker we get the accident. We go commot the driver. They made the die. They made the die. So around 10 to 11, and we get inside too, and we hear another bang. We come out now. You see, say this guy to get some resident. The people was training inside, so we come we come out two. We put them car. We them send him to hospital. About the driver there in leg, where we call fire service. Where we can't help us, where we come out town. They send them to hospital.
So right now, so of this toll booth is not working. Always accident. Me right now, I'm travel. What do they call him? Mali, Niger, Abidjan. Anywhere, I'll go there. But this accident, I've not seen before. But Ghana here alone. Always. This toll booth, Tomato booth, what do they call Accra, Weja, what do they call Instagram room. The same thing. I meet accident.
These crashes are not limited to just the Accra toll plaza. Eyewitnesses claim between January and August this year, over 20 people have died in a similar way at the Tema toll booth.
Yes, January to August, what I've seen, I've actually witnessed over, I may say 20 deaths, what I've seen. Yes, and it normally occurs at night, because normally there is no toll light on the toll booth at night. And then also, especially those who are new on the road. And when we are driving along, the Flower Accra road, the marginal lines in between the road that you should follow, some of them come and face to the walls of the toll. So without you being new, you go on the road, you wouldn't even know you are heading towards to a wall. Since there is no light or there's no any indication that, okay, you are approaching danger zone, or maybe there's no any reflector, nothing to show that there is an empty toll ahead. By the time you realize, you have already driven into the toll booth.
This has angered many motorists and residents who are demanding the total removal of the commissioned toll booth from the country's highways.
Yesterday, I was here, and my auntie called me and said I should come and see something. Accident happened at motorway. I was running, come and see. It's very, very, very bad. Sad. Some people are dying just like that. So we beg the Kufado, we beg Mr. Makwata, we beg that they should come and remove the room so that the driver will take time and go. They are on speed. So if the toll booth are not there, they will come and go and pass free. But because of the room, they are losing control. So innocent person are dying. Stomach all tear. Everything is the stomach was flowing like this. You can't see. That you can't see. Very sad.
How this toll booth they kill human being for years? If they don't feed the repair, they will come clear them for us. Because especially the Ashaman toll booth, every day we know come out dead body, no be 4 or 5. But today as you are here, we don't fit talk, but you are here. There are no say you go out. So we beg government of Ghana, they should come and repair the toll booth or they will clear them for us.
Visibility at these toll booths at night is low, and there are no warning signs. Until these toll booths are either put to good use or removed, drivers will have to exercise a lot of caution when approaching any of these booths anywhere in the country. Carlos Caloni's report, Joy News.
Ghana is set to become the first African country to manufacture its own cholera vaccine. This is a significant step to join the global fight against infectious diseases. Speaking at a technology transfer event at the National Vaccine Institute, Acting Technical Coordination Director at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Bafo will review that the initiative is to ensure that Ghana is self-sufficient. There's more on this report by Jacqueline Ansuma Yabwa.
There are fewer African countries with the capacity to produce vaccines, so many African countries are dependent on developed countries. To break this chain of dependency, Ghana has taken a huge step to produce its own vaccines. It will begin with the production of oral cholera vaccines. EU Biologics, based in Korea, is set to transfer the technology of producing the vaccine Ghana's local partners, DEK Vaccines, in order to increase global vaccine production capacity and reduce disparity in vaccine access for African children. Acting Technical Coordination Directorate at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Bafo Awua, revealed that this initiative is a step in the right direction to ensure that Ghana is self-sufficient.
No, see, the principal aim of manufacturing your own vaccine, one, to have, when you import, we have import duties here, all these add to the cost. So when we are doing it locally, one, you give job to local people. We want to be self-reliant in all the vaccine space.
Presidential Advisor on Health, Dr. Anthony Insia Asare, is excited that the private sector is leading this new development. He said, with time, Ghana will continue to limit the importation of vaccines.
Decided, the president said, let's do this thing through the private sector. We said the private sector is the engine of growth. So we are giving all the necessary backing to the private sector to become the engine for vaccine production. Private sector does things and does it very well, because these companies like DEK, which is made up of Dan Adams, NS Chemist, and Kinapharma, are very industrial, very well-established pharmaceutical companies, which have footprints in the West Africa sub-region, and that's what we have been doing. So DEK has already the president cut the sword in April for the setting up of the factory, which is ongoing very now. They are being supported by EU, they are being supported by GIZ and the German government, and now today the Korean have come in with International Vaccine Institute of Korea and also EU Biologics to transfer technology. They signed an agreement today to give them products for the production of oral cholera vaccines. They've already signed an agreement, as I know, with also Serum Institute of India. And I know also that Atlantic Life Sciences, which is another private company which was commissioned last year by His Excellency the President, they are going into also vaccine production and then anti-snake and anti-rabies vaccines.
The first locally produced oral cholera vaccine is expected to be made available after testing. For Joy News, Jacqueline Ansuma Yeboah.
He dropped out of school in class 6, knowing that his qualification could not earn him any meaningful job then. He resorted to menial jobs, which could at least help him cater for himself. After trying some laborious work, Mr. AJ resorted to selling coconut. Through that trade, he has ensured his children have what he did not get when growing up, education. After enjoying a juicy coconut from Kofi AJ and the scorching sun, Hannah Dami sat with him to hear his story.
But say, no, all the bone, a bachelor say we hard.
It's way so the bone,
we are soft.
Soft, because the boy ate it.
Kofi AJ has engaged in lots of menial jobs. He's done mason work. He's driven commercial vehicles. But years ago, he settled on the coconut business.
I got engaged in coconut business, though it's difficult because the job requires lots of effort.
To say it was easy would be an understatement, he says.
When I started, I used to carefully arrange the coconut on a tray. Then I hawk in town till it finishes. Then the cycle continues until all I purchased runs out.
Did Kofi AJ think of quitting along the way, considering how his colleagues who had fully attended and completed at least senior high school were progressing?
It got to a point I thought I could do other jobs because it was energy draining. So I stopped and began driving commercial vehicles. That was also not sustainable for me. I then began doing missionary work. That too was not profitable, so I decided to return to selling coconut as I realized that was more lucrative. Throughout the journey of changing jobs, I realized all that is required is for one to be determined and willing to work.
sometimes calculating how much he earns a day as against that of his colleagues. Not for once did he believe he must rely on someone else for a job. Self-help to him was the best way to go.
As for the job, it requires diligence. Just decide how much you intend to save, and if you are disciplined, you will be able to save and even invest.
Today, he's happily married and all his 6 children are in school, with the eldest in the university.
I would say this job has been very beneficial to me because that's all I've been doing, and through that, I have married. I have 6 children now. The youngest is in senior high school and the eldest is in the university.
As he manages these other younger men who are trying to achieve their goals in life, Mr. J constantly reminds them that engaging in handy jobs is not a recipe for poverty.
I
always use myself as an example when I advise them. I tell them to utilize the skills they have and not always rely on others to assist them.
For Joy News, I am Hannah Odami.
The first part of our latest Hotline documentary, Dark Forest and the Siege, highlighting the impact of illegal mining in the once thriving Apamprama forest, aired last night. It will be repeated later this evening at 6:30 p.m. If you missed the first broadcast and are anxious on what to expect tonight, here's an excerpt giving account of how Galamsey is affecting their livelihood.
In the midst of all this destruction and the billions of dollars in gold taken from this area, communities remain the poorest.
They brought in a transformer and wired the town, so we thought we would be connected in about a year.
Benin community, for instance, is yet to be connected to the national electricity grid. It has been reduced to poor infrastructure and a deprived community with few opportunities. Their farmlands are gone, forests degraded, water sources polluted, and the attendant change in climatic conditions have affected farming.
It is the forest that gives farmers in this area rain to farm. But now, if God doesn't intervene, we will not have the rains to grow our crops.
The indigents of Benin share their dilemma.
We've not gained anything. Look at our schools, toilet, and our town. We are helpless.
When they come, they promise a lot of things, but they don't fulfill these promises.
Meanwhile, Ghana has secured a $103 million World Bank loan to, among others, restore cocoa lands, engage the restoration of polluted water resources, and reclaim degraded forest lands, including the Apamprama Forest Reserve. Just before airing this report, we decided to go back to the Apamprama to gauge the situation there. We found many Chinese miners are back to mine in the forest. Some have hit the ground mining, while others have set up camp to continue mining in a forest built for reclamation.
You can see fresh excavators, about 8 drums of diesel.
In case you missed it, please make a date with us for the repeat of the broadcast tonight at 6:30 p.m. on this channel. You're still watching Joy News Today. Up next is business. Please stay tuned.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Some players from the health and pharmaceutical industry are concerned about the rate at which the current economic challenges are affecting the operations. According to them, much has not been done to support the operations and are calling for more collaboration from government. Specialist obstetrician and gynecologist at Midday Hospital, Dr. Gifty Kwashi Ngisa, says import duties and exchange rate fluctuations are affecting them. She spoke to Joy Business at the inauguration of the hospital's renovated theatre and labour ward.
Ghana spent on average about 6% of its GDP on healthcare infrastructure. Meanwhile, players within the sector say much is needed to support the pharmaceutical and health industry. According to Gifty Kwashi Ngisa, more private-public partnership is needed.
So that really is more of a, you need to have some government commitments. Private enterprise cannot do it by itself. You have to have some goodwill, because getting financing on your own is quite difficult. Interest rates are high. And so if you get into, and the equipment are also quite expensive. So you need to have some form of legislature that helps health care facilities to be able to get loans at better interest rates, to get more advanced technology, because healthcare is evolving. You require new advanced state-of-the-art equipment to diagnose cases, and they're expensive. And so without that goodwill, it makes it difficult for private facilities to be at par with government ones or to be on the world stage.
Midday Hospital says it will deliver a consistent, personalized service that will exceed client expectations.
Now, MultiChoice Ghana has promised to continue to provide high-quality pay television through cutting-edge technology to its consumers. According to its managing director, Alex Ultre, the company is working to improve content and services to ensure pleasant viewing for subscribers. He spoke to Joy Business at a media content showcase.
The event with the media and stakeholders was to showcase the various content MultiChoice Ghana has for the next quarter and the next year. Alex Ultre said, as part of activities to celebrate the company's 30 years of operations in Ghana, the MultiChoice Group is committed to providing its audience with more quality local content.
Every year we call the media and we, through you, show our customers what we have lined up for the rest of the year and even upcoming months. So that's why we are here. And this year, I think there's a lot of new stuff. So if you check on Accra Magic, we're bringing a lot of new shows. So Casanuya more, Market Coins, a lot that we are bringing. The Family Bench. You know, there is no better time to be on Accra Magic than now. Actually, in the coming few days and weeks, there's a lot of new shows that are coming, Ghanaian locally produced shows. And also, I mean, we announced very recently, few weeks ago, about our new GoTV package, the GoTV Super Plus, where you can catch all the Premier League matches, 380 matches, all on GoTV Super Plus. So what is new? I mean, we're bringing new shows, new content, and we want the world to know, we want our subscribers to know that we're bringing new content, so they should subscribe.
MultiChoice Group has over the years provided its audience with thrilling and compelling media content across all its platforms and channels, including Accra Magic, among others, to the satisfaction of its viewers.
And that's it for Business. Sports is up next.
Let's do sports now on JoyNews Today with me, Muftau Nabila Abla. Black Stars head coach Chris Hutton says public opinion on reason behind his inclusion of Andre Ayew into the Black Stars squad for the upcoming African Cup of Nations qualifier against Central African Republic does not concern him. According to him, he has a final say on who makes the final squad for an international competition on behalf of the country.
Well, growing conceptions doesn't, it's not something that means too much to me. From my point of view as head coach, it's about the squad that I want and the reasons for each player. player to be in the squad. So what is a perception outside? I don't know, you know, and this is not my concern. What I have to do is I have to pick a squad, and that squad can be made up of young, exciting players. They can be made up of perhaps more experienced players. There will always be, in the general public, there will always be a lot of debate about who should be in the squad and who shouldn't. And there are players, and Andre comes into a category. We know that he hasn't played as much, so we're knowledgeable about the amount of games that he's played, but I also know what he means to the squad. He's captain. I know what he gives the squad as regards, and anybody in the squad. It's never just about their abilities. It's about what they bring to the squad, some experience, some know-how, how they can affect the other players. So for every player that's in the squad, there is a reason, and there will always be debate about any member of the squad. And I'm quite sure, if I asked you, or if I asked the gentleman sitting over there or the gentleman sitting over there, their squads, I'm quite sure that there will be players in the squad that will be different that are in there.
Chris Houghton speaking there. Meanwhile, Vice President of the Ghana Football Association, Mark Addo, is calling on Ghanaians to throw their weight behind the senior national team for the contest on Thursday. According to him, it is important Ghanaians show up at the stadium and support the senior national team to defeat Central African Republic.
The important thing for us is for people to support the team.
Sure.
There is nothing to hide in this business. So we shouldn't get too worked out on it. Most importantly, we get the people to get the work done.
Okay.
We expect the team to be here on Tuesday by lunchtime in Kumasi, because they will train here Tuesday afternoon.
Okay.
And then Wednesday there will be another training, obviously the pre-game training, and then the game on Thursday at 4 o'clock.
Sure.
I expect that we all go and support in our numbers. Kumasi is our favorite place to play.
Sure.
You know, it's the home of the Black Stars,
Sure.
and I'm praying and hoping that we win, and we win well, so that we can bring smiles to people's faces, and the love is still here. So I'm praying, you know, and we ask all of you to come in your numbers, come in your colors, and we'll continue to promote this until Thursday, until we have the win, so that we can all go to Ivory Coast in January next year.
Okay.
The Black Stars left Kotoka International Airport just a couple of minutes ago, and they are expected to arrive in Kumasi at 1 p.m. These are wrap-up sports here on Joy News Today. You can head on to myjoyonline.com.
In showbiz, Nigerian musician Patoranking held an intimate listening session with music executives, media personnel and fans in Ghana for his new album, World Best. The album, which features artists from across the world, including Ludacris, Ghana's Jackie and Biniman, among others. This is the fourth studio album of the musician. Enjoy highlights from the event.
Pato is always the world's best. That's one, undoubtedly. I repeat, he's always the world's best. And number two, I like that he fuses a lot of Ghanaian musicians with his music. A lot of features. Track number 3, Menkaidi, but I know it's track number 3. And I told myself that I'll go home and listen to it again when it comes out in about a couple of days. But that song with Philippa, it's unfortunate that I didn't pay attention to it. Say it, but I feel beat no. What track number is this? I'm gonna say 3. I'm fine. I'll find it. Yes, the world best is the world best. He's always good at it, and he keeps winning. So for me, Charlie is the bomb.
I mean, it's a vibe. I think that's one word I can use to describe the album. It's lovely. I love it, and I've always been a fan of Patoranking. So yeah, we're out here to support. It's Ghana, it's African music as well. So we're just here to support. Yeah.
Well, Ghanaian singer Black Sherry has given his fans something to cheer about as he wins the West African Artist of the Year at the 16th Headies Award. The Headies Awards 2023, which was held at the weekend in Atlanta, Georgia, USA, turned more heads as the singer took the stage to receive the award. The Kweku the Traveler hitmaker was nominated among Afropop singers like Jackie, Camido, and the Therapist from Liberia for the same category. Black Sheriff, after receiving the award, thanked his fans in Nigeria and Ghana and around the world, with special thanks to those in Konongo, Zongo, his birthplace in the Ashanti region.
West Allah Akbar. Yes, I. Thank you so much to the fans, to the listeners. Thank you, Headies. Thank you, Nigeria. Thank you, Ghana. Thank you, Konongo, Zongo. I love you. Easy.
Congratulations to Black Sherry. That's how we end the bulletin here. Thanks for watching. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. I am Amazing Yamcha Thompson. See you again next time.